What's up, Bills fans? I had to come do a post-game video after, you know, the Bills, it's just the kind of game the Bills lose, isn't it? Where you have really low expectations going into the game, and they usually always do it in New England too. I can think of so many games in New England where they just blow it. The Lossman safety, the Leotis fumble, uh, just Fitzpatrick's first start. Well, his first official start under the Gailey regime. Um, the last year's game, they're up 21 to nothing, and now this year, they just seemingly always go there and just bring you to the cusp, and it just. But I really want to just talk about the game overall from start to finish. And I was curious to ask you guys what you thought of the coaches' films videos I did. I did a couple of them. I wanted to know what you guys thought and what else you wanted to see. I know you guys are going to want to see the Graham pass that was, inevitably intercepted. Well, the Fitzpatrick pass to Graham that was intercepted. I will tell you, they replayed it on TV, a DVR'd it back, and it was. I don't know what Fitz is doing there because he's looking right at Spiller, who's open as open could be, and Johnson, who looks like he's breaking open, and then he just turns back and throws it to Graham, and Graham is just like covered, and then McCourty is just standing there too, and is intercepted. So and people will want to give. This is the kind of game I hate as a Bills fan because there's going to be these Bills fans that want to come out there and throw all these things out like, oh well, Fitz played a good game. He deserves to be the starter. He came out there. He came out there. He fumbled inside of his 10. He threw a game-losing interception. What does that count for? This coaching staff, this team, just sloppy. And I will confess that the refs just gave a touchdown to the Patriots. Gave it. Those two, maybe the one penalty on Bird, that should have been a 5-yard penalty. It shouldn't have been the 17 yards that he got called for. And then the one that was overthrown in the end zone on Gilmore was ridiculous. Ridiculous. It was amateur hour out there for the rest, but it was amateur out there for the Bills too. The offensive line, false start, holding, just ugly, just sloppy. Your season's up against the wall. You're against a division opponent. Now, here again, 0-3 in the division. Gailey, only 2 division wins in his tenure as Bills coach. 2. One against the Dolphins in 10. One against the Pats last year. That's it. Which brings it to what? 2-10. 2-13. And people will want to give the defense credit again. Well, the defense kept them in it. Yeah, they didn't allow a 100-yard rusher. Great. Yeah, they didn't allow a 300-yard passer. Great. They didn't allow a 100 wide receiver. Great. But they still let the Pats just pretty much march up and down the field at will. I think they sacked Brady once. Kyle Williams, and I'll admit when I'm wrong. I can't trade Kyle Williams now. He's the only guy on that defense that has any fire in his belly. Any. And I even feel bad ripping Fitz today just a little bit because he showed me some balls today when he got up and told Brandon Spikes, fuck you. Like, I was like, where has that been? Where has it been? From anyone on this team, where has that been? So it really did pain me to see them lose, but knowing at the end of the day it's probably better for them to lose so they can get an impact player, hopefully, that Nix does not pick. Please. I don't want to hear all this crap about him wanting a franchise quarterback and this and that. He's just trying to cover for himself. Because the more kind of games that Fitz has like this and the more that they lose, what can you say? They're losers. point blank. Gailey's record is what now? 13 and 27, 13 and 28. It speaks for itself. You know, and I don't mind honestly if they draft a quarterback and they say, well, we're going to keep Fitz. I won't care. I won't get that mad. I know this team's not going to win the Super Bowl next year or maybe the year after, but I'm okay with them. At least show me that you want to go after that guy. Defensively, after you take linebacker and quarterback, rounds 1 and 2, or if they trade up and get a quarterback in the first round, whatever they do, they need to draft defense every player. I mean, every player that they have, every pick needs to be a defensive pick. Every free agent signing that they make this offseason should be defensively. Every one. I don't want to see one offensive player visit Buffalo. Not one. Because this defense is a sieve. Their linebackers are just the most inept, useless group of they're just useless. And that's the problem with this team. Continuously fielding guys like Spencer Johnson, Brian Scott, Barnett, Moats. They have these guys out there. George Wilson, who is just, he's bad. That guy got whatever he could out of his ability. He's just bad. Because he was lost on the one Gronkowski. It was a deep pass, and he was just, they kind of bumped him. Him and Scott both like gave him a little shove, and he just ran right past them. And then like the ball is like over their head. Then they start. I was just like, you know, that's Rob Gronkowski, right? You know, Brady likes to throw to him deep more than he does to Welker. I mean, they were lucky Welker dropped a couple of passes that he did today. But again, they're without a cornerback on the other side of Gilmore. I mean, he had a little bit of a rough game today, but he's a rookie. What are you going to do? Mario was non-existent today. I mean, he got close to Brady once, I think. But Kyle just, you know, just by the things that he said and just, it's hard to say trade him, but it's also you have so many needs. You just feel bad for the guy playing on his team, how hard he plays, and just, you know, he's undersized, but he just if we had 3 or 4 more of him at different spots in the defense, it would make all the difference in the world. But oh, Bills fans, what can I say? This is just the kind of game they lose. This is just the kind of game bad football teams lose. They shoot themselves in the foot with penalties, costly turnovers. And I'll say it again, and this is like, to me, since the season is pretty much lost at 3-6, I mean, you got to go to a short week against a team who just got their ass whipped, Miami, at home. And to me, this is a recipe for a Bills clunker, where they, you know, they look good against the Pats, and the Pats' defense is not good. Their defense is not good at all. There's been a lot of teams this year that ran up a score on the Pats, but and the Bills just let Miami come in and just, you know, beat them up. I can see that happening on national TV, and then they're staring down the barrel 3-7, and what then? You know, the season's gone. You got Nick's coming out saying, well, he didn't promise the fans playoffs and winning. Dude, you said winning now. To me, that equals playoffs. I mean, these guys talk out of both sides of their ass because they wanted everybody to buy in. That's just the point. But my original point was what we potentially have the best running back in the NFL on our roster right now. And we have a coaching staff that just won't give him the ball. Hand him the ball, 9, 10 times. I've watched football long enough. I've watched it long enough. You know, I was lucky enough to actually have seen Bo Jackson. I was very young, but I remember watching him play. And I remember just saying like out loud, you know, being a little kid. And it was a very little kid thing to say. But looking back, I said, wow, he looks fast. And it wasn't just that he was just that fast. This is he made everybody else look that much slower. And that's what C.J. Spiller does. I never remember the Bills having an a guy like Spiller. And I've watched the Bills since this is my 24th year. 24th, going on, is my 24th year being a Bills fan. I don't remember a player like that on Buffalo where he just gets the ball and he just, I mean, Thurman was a good player who would methodically just kill you with the 15s and the 10s and the 5s. Andre Reed, Don Beebe would catch the ball and just outrun everybody on streaks. But this guy just looks different. I mean, Adrian Peterson different. And Deion Sanders different. This guy you drafted in the first round, everybody loves Fred. Fred's getting older. He's fumbling. He's not as explosive. He's a great, guy to block in the backfield on third downs. He definitely is a good receiver. You need to give Spiller. Spiller should be getting the ball handed off to him 20 times a game. No, 20 times a game. He should be targeted in the passing game 5 to 8 times a game. And I don't need to sit in an office or sit here and look at film to figure that out like they claim. All right, Bills fans, I've wasted enough of your time. I've rambled a lot. Again, I hope you enjoy the coaching film videos. I know you're going to want to see a review of them, the pass. I'll just tell you now, they don't put the coaching video up till Wednesday. So, I mean, I could see the game on Game Rewind, but I can't see the coaching film till Wednesday. So, as soon as I'm able to look at it, I'll throw it up there and let you guys have at it. Thanks a lot for following, subscribing, and I really appreciate it, guys. Have a good week.